Thank you. Thanks so much for having me with the Teenpreneur Foundation. This is really exciting. I've always wanted my kids to also experiment with entrepreneurship because the earlier you start, the better. Because the sooner you learn how to fix things, solve problems, learn how to make money, the sooner you'll get to success. Because the ones who succeed are the ones who learn mistakes earlier on, and your path to success is starting sooner. So I really think this is exciting. That's one of the things I love about Teenpreneur, using your youth and the time that you have now to learn as fast as you can, because you actually don't know it, but you have a lot more time than like right now than you do when you get older. Challenges will come your way, including myself, for example, like I have 4 kids. That's a whole nother ball game that you will not understand until you become a parent. But I'm not sure if Destiny told you a little bit. I know she mentioned that I run a small studio. Thanks to her mom, that's how we met, and she works for me part time, and she does all kinds of things for me. And one of the things I liked about her is that she had the attitude to learn. I knew she didn't have a lot of the skill sets that she does now after working with me for 2 years, but now she knows even more how she applied everything that she learned from school, which really honestly with marketing, you can learn now. You can start learning now. You probably have your social media influencers that you follow, content creators that you follow. Y'all probably know Mr. Beast. He started his YouTube videos channel maybe 10 years ago, experimenting, creating content, and now his company, one of the top YouTube influencers in the world, is almost valuated at $1 billion plus. You would think like, oh, all he did was amazing videos that was entertaining and fun, but no, it's worth more than some of the media companies that started years ago. So, the reason why it's going to be different for your generation is because you can learn how to make a business online. You have the advantage compared to some of the older generation where they're used to building businesses traditionally in a physical space or in brick and mortar, those kinds of things. The old ways of starting a business from over a decade ago is a thing almost of the past. You have to position yourself to have the mindset to grow something online, which can help you scale your business beyond something in person, beyond something even in just Tallahassee alone. So, how many of you, I'm sure you guys have some questions. I didn't, put any visuals together, but I can share my website really quick so you guys can kind of see samples of my work. And then we can also go from there. I mean, I could even share, I have samples of my work on a PowerPoint presentation that I'm getting ready for a ribbon cutting next week.
Yes, talk
Dustin,
about the ribbon cutting.
yeah. Yeah, so we're celebrating 10 years of running my studio, and it was a remote first business, meaning I didn't have a place or an office for many years. I started everything and remotely before COVID even hit. So that was the advantage that I had running my studio, contract-based studio and retainer meaning monthly contracts with clients, and I would just do services for clients outside of my home office or like at a coffee shop. I'd float around, but I'd go to clients' offices and shops to provide services for them. And so, one thing I could do that might help, because I know visuals are super important, is I'll share my screen. Um, I'll go ahead and share this window with my website. So this is a smaller scale of my website, just featuring um, some of the things I do. And then one of the things that I like doing is sharing people, and it is funny because my um, it keeps popping on my little navigation window. There it is. Case studies. Okay. So case studies is where you can see samples of my work, client, different types of clients that I worked with for different projects. It doesn't show everything I've worked on over the case of 10 years, but I wanted to highlight some of my favorite projects that involved more like consultation. Um, one client I helped with efficient processes and onboarding their new clients. Sometimes I do branding, which is like logo, color selection, and the look and feel of their entire brand. And then sometimes in some cases, I just help them train their new marketing assistants or marketing staff. Because a lot of the times, people who graduate from college, especially recent college grads, didn't have a lot of practical experience when it comes to marketing. So it's been a needed resource and service that I've provided. I've done planners, print projects, digital projects. I did a custom planner for a client. For Foundation of Arts, for example, because the owner just wanted a custom planner, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So anyways, as you can see, being a creative, you can figure out how to do things, how to create things, how to help people communicate and brand their companies. So let me know, Dusty, whenever you want to chime in, feel free. But I also, I know she mentioned you guys are covering content creation and social media. I also, one thing I didn't mention, and she mentioned that she wanted me to talk about, was I also worked out of a co-working space. So like kind of like a collab space. If you see this picture here, this is one of my temporary offices that I had before I moved to Idea Lab, which is a newer office, and I just moved there at Innovation Park. So if anyone knows, how many of you know where Mag Lab is?
Anybody know? Mag Lab?
Have you? It's the largest magnet laboratory in the world. You got to go to the open house. It's open to the public once every, yeah, annually, once a time every year. So try to get your parents to go out there and check it out. So anyways, yeah, no, I have a new office there. And anyways, as far as Domi is concerned, like I use that space and I was able to hop around from desk to office to, because some of the most expensive costs for any entrepreneur in the beginning is an office, is a physical space. So if you can figure out how to grow a business without having a physical space in the beginning, that'll save you a lot of costs. And so, how many of you are interested in doing something like this in marketing, content creation, influencer marketing? I can stop sharing my screen so I can see you guys better. I can't hear Destiny, sorry.
I'm telling them to raise their hands.
Oh, okay.
They're in the back.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. We have some time for a Q&A. Is there anything in particular that does anyone have a business that they are having struggles with related to marketing or?
They're typing it out on the iPad for you. They're bringing it up.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. As you can see, I'm in a room with a bunk bed. So, and Miss Jennifer, she mentioned there are some personal things going on, but like I said, things come up in life and you got to learn how to adjust and get things done around it. So that's why you have the advantage. You have the advantage. You have all the time in the world. And I see it with my own kids. They let social media suck up their time. They let gaming suck up their time. What can you do that you like doing and to monetize that? How do you make it so that you can actually monetize what you like doing? You have the advantage to also game online and stream it with your parents' permission and gain a following from that. I know some kids who are gaining huge followers on Twitch and streaming and winning lucrative careers and sponsorships with big brands because they are doing it. So you could be strategic in what you like doing now in your youth to make money today versus just consuming content and not doing anything with it. It looks like you got a hand. Is there anyone who wants to say something?
The floor. Ethan had a question, and CJ.
Ethan, go ahead.
Say what that question is. Why did you start your business? Okay, his question was, Julia, why did you start this business? You've got 4 kids, you've got a husband, you've got a lot to juggle. Why did you start the business?
Wow, I love that you asked that because I didn't know that somebody you would all really care to know that part. But thank you. Yes, actually it was because I used to work full-time for a creative firm, and what happened was they were running the business that wasn't super, let's say, family friendly, and they were not managing the company well. That's the thing. That's a very big problem right now that companies are facing. They're losing younger people and younger talent because they're not managing their companies well and they're not treating their employees well. If you learn earlier on how to treat your team well and how to treat your coworkers, or excuse me, your team and employees, so that you could retain them and keep them for a longer time, and you have a culture that works really well, you'll be able to keep them for longer as a fellow team member. But as to answer your question, that was one of the things. It wasn't being managed well. I did some research. There were other companies in a similar field that they just weren't producing the work that I liked. So I went and started a business. I didn't even try to get another job because I was working overtime, probably 70 to 80 hours a week sometimes, with 3 kids at the time under the age of 5. So that, could you imagine not seeing your parents much because they're working that much? So anyways, I wanted to start my business so that I could have a flexible work situation and work-life balance.
But you didn't have the flexibility, and you weren't really appreciated.
All right, the questions.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
CJ
had one.
Question. Yes. CJ, say your question. When did you start your business? Did you hear me say, when did you start your business? What year was it? Can you tell us again?
Yes. I like to joke that according to LinkedIn, it was 10 years ago, 2014. But on paper, according to the IRS, it was 2013 or 2015, one of the so it's like a leap year for me. It'll be an extended 10 years. So yeah, I like to say 10 years. That's why we're officially celebrating our 10-year anniversary this year.
You finish your job, your 9 to 5. Did you go right into starting your business? Was there a break where you wrote your business plan, or took it to the bank, or tried to raise an offering from rich relatives?
Oh yeah, great question. I actually just started right away. It worked out. I mean, of course I had a nice little break, but it worked out that one of my coworkers also left the business because he wasn't happy, and he started a business, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, I know you know how to do this. Can you help me get started?" So he helped me get started by asking me to do some contract work for him. So I got through my connections. That's all part of growing your business, is networking, connecting with people. The ones in this class right now could help you. You guys are networking with each other. If there's somebody who knows how to do something that you don't, you can work together. Like, that is a great start for getting started for a business. You can hire one another to help each other, with your businesses.
Yes, we've been talking about collaboration. Yeah, one more in the middle. Go ahead, Michaela.
Do you like doing it?
Do you like doing this business?
Yes, I think I wouldn't last for 10 years if I didn't. Yes, I mean, as you go along, you'll realize, you'll learn what you like and what you don't like about running a business. Maybe you'll learn early on, like, oh, this is not for me. I don't want to do this anymore. You know, it's not the easiest path. Like, there's definitely ups and downs. I'm not going to say this is the easiest path and it's not for everyone, but you got to learn quickly, like, is this something you really want to do? Do you want to be able to do multiple roles, or do you want to focus on one thing and get better at it and work for someone else? This is something that you can figure out along the way. That's, if you figure that out earlier in life, you'll be set. You'll be really good. So I know I can't hear you guys if anyone else
Okay,
has a
sorry, I was muted. I was just looking at the questions that's coming up, but one of them was what advice would you give to the kids that are starting their business? based on what you do marketing wise?
Yes. One thing that I commonly see as a big mistake is that even businesses who don't understand marketing tend to overspend in the beginning. They spend too much money on things that do not matter. They spend money in areas for marketing that don't work because they think they have to do it, but they probably don't need to do it. You want to market in the spaces and the channels where your audience and your customer base is going to be, right? So that's where you have to figure out. And then as far as starting a business, you need to figure out what problem are you specifically solving for people, right? There's maybe there's one thing that you like doing. Figure out, okay, how can I see that someone actually needs this thing? Like it's a service, it's a product. I'm just using lemonade stand as an example. Like, when is the best opportunity to actually get that business started, right? Maybe when it's hot. Serving people when they're hot and thirsty, sports events, right after school, I'm just thinking of different ideas. Um, Girl Scout cookies are a great example. They figure out the timing of when they put their tables up. They're seasonal. It's a big deal because everyone knows they don't always sell them on the shelves. So it's like an annual thing. It's a special event. There's different kinds of things you can do to get your foot in the door. But the thing is, start small and test out. Like, okay, how can I test this out to sell to 10 people? And what was the experience like? What can I learn from that? Or how can I sell to 100 people? And is this something that will actually sell to 100 people, right? And then if you can actually get it to 100 people and 100 customers, now you have to figure out, how can I keep these hundreds of people as loyal customers for a lifetime, right? Is this something that'll keep them coming back and spreading the word about it and sharing raving positive reviews about what it is that you're doing? And are you doing something unique that nobody else is doing? That's the other thing is, are you doing something that somebody else is doing? Then your chances are, to success is a little slower. It's going to be a little slower. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have time for one more? I know it's getting
Yes.
close to 11. I was going to say, can you talk more about not the side things that you do, but talk more about specifically the studio itself, the video
Yes.
creation, content creation, all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And really honestly, and I've told this to Destiny, whenever you guys want a field trip, I would love to have you guys come and check it out. Check out the whole park. We'd love to give you a quick tour around the entire park, because really you're the generations that's going to innovate and bring in new inventions and creations and make an impact here in Tallahassee. It is your generation, you know, for the long term. And so as far as my studio goes, um the reason why I bought a space, because you're like, oh, Julia, you ran an online business, why are you bringing a space? I want to invest in this service for helping people create videos online. So whether it's going to be selling a course online or also shooting videos for their, streaming services. I started with the minimum, the most basic minimum of a studio, and then I will teach people how to do that and organize their content and create those things for online. That's one of the things. And I mean, we do have some pictures that we probably should put this on the slide. But yes, the ribbon cutting is it's August 3rd on Thursday, and we're going to give people tours and things like that. Destiny's going to help me out. Thank you so much, Destiny, for all your support. She's been amazing. You guys should really ask her a lot of questions because she knows a lot. And she's juggling I think three different companies. So she's got a lot of managing experience as well.
I'm sorry. Okay. It's in Innovation Park, which is behind FSU Stadium. So if you go all the way up, so off of Lake Bradford, go all the way up that hill, turn. It's a huge park. It's got buildings back there.
It's one of those places that nobody knows exists because
Nobody
they
knows
don't.
it's all the way back there.
But if you ever go for the Mag Open House, that's a unique opportunity to go check out that place. It's also
You can
not
go
far
there.
from it's like 10 minutes from the airport. So
Yep.
it's nearby the Tallahassee Museum. It's nearby Tallahassee's airport, and it's all on that side of the city. Yeah.
Well, she's asking, would you be there? Did she ask for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, let Destiny know so I could be there because since it is my company, I don't have to be there every single day. But I'm happy, we can make it happen where if Destiny, knows some people who want to do a quick tour, we'd love to arrange it and plan for it. I know y'all
How
have
many
nice field
offices are
trips.
in? How many offices are in Idea Lab?
There's around 50. Yeah,
50
there's
offices. It's a huge
there's
space.
yeah,
All the
there's
way
a
back.
huge space. There's still openings and different offices for anyone who's looking that has tech related businesses or run an online business. And that's one of the reasons why I chose that space. And it's nice and quiet. It's not too crazy. For anyone who wants to focus and record videos, you need like, great soundproofing. So to me, it worked really well because
Can you
I've
talk
looked all over Tallahassee. There's not a lot of great options out there that have great, just keep it. That's nice and quiet, and then also the clientele in that area is ideal for me. So that's one of the reasons why I parked over there.
Can you talk about some of the supplies you had to buy for the studio?
Yes. So I had to, I did some research, and thanks to YouTube, they do a lot of great. They provide a lot of great tips. You find great experts. You probably know Sean Kennel, I think, is the founder of Think Media. He's one of the first YouTube experts to be pretty much like, a dubbed YouTube expert. And he has a team that helps educate people on how to start a YouTube business and grow it. So I learned from them that you could probably budget for about $500 to start a normal studio, like a home studio. And one of the things I got was like, I got a boom mic, I got a lamp, I just got some lighting. And then I got some of those LED lights because you gotta have a nice backdrop. So I think those are the first good starting points, and then eventually I'd love to have like more soundproofing set up in the room. But yeah, I'm pretty minimalist, so I don't want to over do it with my studio and put too much stuff. But I am starting to build up a prop inventory.
How? Say that again. How did you come up with your logo and your colors?
Ah, thank you. Yes, one of the things is like I love black. Colors that black is my favorite color. If you know me, you see me wear black a lot. And apparently designers love black. Like it's a universal thing. For some reason we all just love that color. And it's just one of the best colors to me, even though it's not like a lot of color. It's not. So, and then I don't know why I just kind of, the dark maroon color just kind of resonated with me. And then and that's the thing, people get all hung up on their logo being too perfect. Everybody even just get started and design it so that it's simple and not too much detail in the beginning, and then you can always elaborate. But if you look at the history and you start studying big brands like Apple, Nike did a good job from the beginning. But I think, if you look at Apple and some of these other companies, they started with like the weirdest concept ever, and then they eventually changed and evolved. Apple used to be like a full-blown illustration of Picasso or something like that, and then eventually Steve Jobs was like, no, let's just change it to an Apple symbol with. So if you look at the bigger brands, they've simplified it to a symbol or an icon. Yes. Sorry, what's the question? It's muted. Sorry.
What do you do at your business? What else do you do at your business outside of content creation?
Yes, I mean, Destiny sees it all, so she can tell you everything. It's like it's across the board. So you could say there's different things. Right now, I recently started a newsletter company, and that's the other, it's another online business I'm starting and experimenting with. I partnered with somebody who had a lot of experience with it. So I'm helping with the branding and the marketing and the writing and the content creation. He's helping me with the scaling side. So he's going to put money towards ads and growing it because he's had a lot of experience to scaling it to over 60,000 subscribers. And once you reach a certain point in newsletter companies, the valuation goes pretty high, and it depends on the content and the niche. So that's one example. So my goal ultimately is to create things that scale online, like buying or possibly first building, then selling a business, and then buying and selling and buying and selling. So eventually, ultimately, that's my long-term goal. Right now, I'm providing services to clients related to marketing, corporate events, and branding. So along those lines, yes. But there's a lot more down the pipeline for me to potentially scale it to a larger brand.
Have you worked with any celebrities?
Ooh, tell them about tell them about Miss
Leon?
Yeah,
Logan?
yeah. Tell them about Leon, and then tell them about, you know, how what's her Alin, how she met, who she met.
Oh, which one?
Remember the
Which?
picture
There's multiple.
from Filipino Hustle Fridays?
Oh yeah, you remember? Okay.
Remember
You
who
can
she met?
remind me. Like, are you talking about Alin had
Remember
met
her
like?
picture? She took her picture with the book. The
Oh, are
book
you?
with the famous athlete.
Yes.
Remember?
Well, there's multiple. I mean, if I'm remembering, you're talking. There's Marissa.
Yeah, Marissa.
She had like taken a photo with this is what's his name? She got an autograph or she got to collaborate with this guy who owns the fighting company
Yeah,
UFC.
the
UFC.
no.
But that's a different one. Okay, to answer her question about like the working with, I did work with, they're not considered A-list celebrity, but like if your parents or your mom's like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, I did work with he was a second runner-up for one of the shows. It was for The Bachelorette, and he's from Florida. He actually lives in Jacksonville, and he actually went to FSU. So I figured out a way to get him to Tallahassee for a client, and he was featured in the news, those kinds of things for coming for and working with my client. And that's one celebrity you can say.
You could talk about
I
too.
Yes, and then Chef Leon is not like a full-blown, celebrity, but I would consider him now a local celebrity because he was featured on Hulu for a chef competition called The Secret Chef. Y'all should go on there and watch it. It's pretty amazing. And so he's going to be catering for my ribbon cutting. And next week, yeah, he's planning on being there. And I don't know the results, so don't tell me I need to catch up with my shows. I'm at episode 5. And he's really, really talented. He's a local chef in town who does private chef events. And that's another good business if you know how to cook and you love to cook.
You have a
Just do
cook
it.
in the back, raise your hand, cook.
Yes, awesome. And then he is ranked 7th in Dance Dance Revolution. If you guys know anything about that, that's 7th in the world.
And he
Really,
also has
really.
a YouTube channel that does really well.
So yeah, he's really talented.
Was it Manny Pacquiao that she met?
Oh
No.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. That's one of my goals is to interview him. But she had met Joe Coy. Another guest met Joe Coy, a comedian. Any comedians in the house?
He's back there.
Yeah, he raised his hand. I love it. Yes, the famous comedians today, like Dave Chappelle, right? I don't know if he's too old for y'all, and he's content might not be
They
a
said
little.
Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart. Oh yeah. So the thing is, Dave Chappelle is considered the GOAT. Like he's one of the best, and you got to watch his stuff with it cleaned up. But I don't know if that exists. Anyways, he started when he was young. His mom used to take him to stand-up comedy, the hardest kind of stage to you know, to actually perform. And he practiced since he was young, like in his teens. He was very, and he is very prolific, one of the best storytellers. That's the thing about comedians. They're amazing storytellers, and they just are so witty and smart. It's one of the hardest forms of performing. Anyways, that is a completely different business, but you know, it is business. Performing arts is a business.
I think, unless anybody else had a question, do you have any closing thoughts, just so we don't keep you? Any advice, any ideas, anything about
Oh
marketing, social
no.
media management, content?
Yeah, no, I really, I mean, I hope, if I missed any questions, I hope Destiny sends them my way. I love the questions y'all asked, and I hope you found something helpful to help you out and get inspiration. If I were you, if anything that's practical, is just start following people and learn from them that you actually like, that you feel like, oh, I see myself in them and I want to learn from them. Like business owners, influencers, you know, positive influences in your life. Maybe it could be a local person that had some success and ask them to mentor you. But even successful entrepreneurs that made a lot of money still look for guidance. And they even say they look for anyone who's ahead of them and see themselves in them and look to them as a mentor. And sometimes podcasts and YouTube really does that for you. You can learn 24/7 and learn as much as you can, as fast as you can, and start practicing as soon as you can.
That was good. That was good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys were great.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll have to meet you in person. Bye.
See you later. Bye.